Okay, welcome my dear students. I'm Mr. Mohamed Hassan from Risalat Al-Huda International School. Today I am going to explain dependent and independent clause. Let's start. Okay, first of all, what's an independent clause? An independent clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb and expresses a complete thought. An independent clause is a sentence, okay? So, if you have a subject and a verb, and it gives you a complete meaning, a complete thought, we call it an independent clause. What's the difference between an independent clause and a dependent clause? A dependent clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb also, but doesn't express a complete thought. A dependent clause cannot be a sentence. Often, a dependent clause is marked by a dependent marker word. Look at this example. When Jim studied in the cafeteria for his chemistry quiz, this is not a sentence, okay? So we call it a dependent clause. It doesn't give you a complete meaning. Can you say, when Jim studied in the cafeteria for his chemistry quiz? Okay, it doesn't give you a complete meaning, so it's not a sentence, and it's a dependent clause. A dependent marker word is a word added to the beginning of an independent clause that makes it into a dependent clause. Look at this example. When Jim studied in the cafeteria for his chemistry quiz, where is the dependent marker word here? It's the word when. And we call this clause dependent clause. It can't stand alone in a sentence. It doesn't give you a complete meaning. You can say, Jim studied in the cafeteria for his chemistry quiz and stop talking. Okay? It can't stand alone. It doesn't give you a complete meaning. It has a marker word, like when. Some common dependent marker words are, like after, although, as if, because, before, even if, even though, if, in order to, since, though, unless, until, whatever, when, whenever, whether, and while. If you find a word from these, we call the clause dependent. Okay? How to connect dependent and independent clauses? There are two types of words that can be used as connectors at the beginning of an independent clause. We have coordinating conjunctions. We have independent marker words. Coordinating conjunctions are used as connecting words at the beginning of an independent clause. They are like for, like and, nor, but, or, yet, so. When the second independent clause in a sentence begins with a coordinating conjunction, a comma is needed before the coordinating conjunction. Look at this example. Jim studied in the cafeteria for his chemistry quiz, comma, but it was hard to concentrate because of the noise. Okay? Some common independent marker words are also, consequently, furthermore, however, moreover, nevertheless, and therefore. An independent marker word is a connecting word used at the beginning of an independent clause. These words can always begin a sentence that can stand alone. When the second independent clause in a sentence has an independent marker word, a semicolon is needed before the independent marker word. Look at this example. Jim studied in the cafeteria for his chemistry quiz, semicolon, however, okay, comma, it was hard to concentrate because of the noise. Okay? Here are some examples of ways to combine independent and dependent clauses properly. Okay, look here. I went to the store. I didn't buy any bread. Here I have two independent clauses. I went to the store. I didn't buy any bread. Here I have a subject, okay, and a verb and an object. I have a sentence. I went to the store. It can stand alone. Okay, it gives you a complete meaning. I didn't buy any bread. I have two independent clauses separated by full stop. Okay? I went to the store, semicolon. I didn't buy any bread. We can connect them by semicolon. I went to the store, okay, comma, but I didn't buy any bread. I went to the store, semicolon, however, comma, I didn't buy any bread. Okay, when I went to the store, we call this dependent clause because we have when, subject, okay, and the verb and the object, but you can't say this is a complete sentence. This gives you a complete meaning. When I went to the store, this is a dependent clause. It can't stand alone in a sentence, okay? Comma, I didn't buy any bread. I didn't buy any bread, this section is independent clause. Why? It gives you a complete meaning. I didn't buy any bread. It can stand alone in a sentence, and so on. I didn't buy any bread when I went to the store, okay? That's all. Thank you, my students. Goodbye. Okay, welcome back, my dear students. This is you, Mr. Mohamed Hassan from Risalat al-Huda International School. Okay, today I'm going to explain to you again another way to identify dependent and independent clause. Let's start. Okay, independent clauses. Think of the Declaration of Independence. What did the colonists want? Independence from Great Britain, we wanted to be able to stand on our own. Independent clauses can stand on their own. They are complete sentences on their own. So, an independent clause can stand alone in a sentence. So it gives you a complete meaning. Okay? Dependent and independent clause. What's the difference? How can we find them? When do we use them? Examples of independent clauses. They lived on the tiny island. Okay? Computers are wonderful tools. Our friends were extremely terrified. The calendar needs to be updated. Their car was demolished. Mrs. Jackson will have our grades online. If you looked at these sentences, okay, we have a subject and predicate. Let's look at the first example. They lived on the tiny island. The word there is a subject. Lived on the tiny island is a predicate. It gives you a complete meaning. It can stand alone, okay? So, it's an independent clause. Another example, computers are wonderful tools. We have the word computers is a subject. Are wonderful tools, okay, is a predicate. This sentence has a subject and predicate. We call it independent clause. Also, it can stand alone. Also, it gives you a complete meaning. So, we have three conditions to have an independent clause. Number one, you have a subject and predicate, okay? Number two, it gives you a complete meaning. Number three, it can stand alone in a sentence. What are dependent clauses? Dependent clauses don't make sense. It doesn't give you a complete meaning at all. If they stand alone, okay? They begin with a subordinating conjunction, like if, like so, like when, like after, because, before, while, until, since, etc. So, it can't stand alone. Can't stand alone in a sentence. It doesn't give you a complete meaning. It must have a subordinated conjunction like if, like so, when, after, because, before, while, until, since, although, though, and so on. Dependent clauses cannot stand alone, as I said. They require help, okay? Look at these examples of dependent clauses. Since she was late to school today. It starts with the word since, coordinating conjunction, okay? It doesn't give you a complete meaning, it needs help. While we were speeding down the interstate until we win the big game. When I go to my old elementary school, after she travels to Europe, if you like anchovies on your pizza, okay? These are examples on dependent clauses. If you look here, you have since, you have while, you have until, you have when, you have after, if. It can't stand alone in a sentence. It doesn't give you a complete meaning and so on. Now, let's have a look on compound sentences. Compound sentences are formed when two independent clauses are joined. We said before, independent clauses in English can stand alone, has a subject and a predicate. It gives you a complete meaning, okay? So two independent clauses are connected together in a compound sentences, joined with a comma and a conjunction, like for, like and, like nor, but, or, yet, or, so. The two dogs barked at us viciously, so we quickly rode away from them. Here I have two independent clauses. Number one, the two dogs barked at us viciously. This is a complete thought, a complete meaning, a sentence. The second one, we quickly rode away from them. We join these two sentences or two independent clauses with so. Complex sentences. Complex sentences are formed when one dependent clause, we said a dependent clause, the one which can stand alone in a sentence, it doesn't give you a complete meaning, and one independent clause are joined together. When I watch a football game, I get very loud, sometimes. I get very loud sometimes when I watch a football game. This, when I watch a football game, this is a dependent clause which can stand alone, which needs help, okay? I get very loud sometimes. This is an independent clause. It can stand alone in a sentence. Compound or complex, okay? Look here. Her father went to the fall festival and he won the most candy bars. Here I have the word and. This is a compound sentence. After we go to Kruger, we need to stop at the gas station. This is a complex sentence. My father enjoys farming because he has always been a hard worker. This is a complex sentence. I have because. Since he turned in the project late, his grade was lowered to a C. Okay, our class accumulated the most points, so we were awarded an extra recess. I go to the movie before I go shopping next weekend. While he attends the football game, okay, this is a dependent clause, I am going to go shopping. Their dog licked their face, but they didn't seem to mind. She wasn't the fastest runner, yet she crossed the finish line first. I have finished now. Goodbye, my sons.